Welcome back to No Mud No Lotus, The Art of Transforming Suffering. We've gone through all 6 parts of this book. There is a 7th part, Practices for Happiness. So this is a bit of a longer portion of this book. We're going to add this into the collection of reading for this book as part 7. There are, I think, quite a few practices in this section that I'll be reading for you. So if you do have an opportunity to pick up a copy of this, just to keep on hand so that you can come back to these practices, that's lovely. But if not, I'll read through them for you here. So get comfy, maybe grab something to sip on as you're listening, and then come back here, we'll get started. 1. The 16 breathing exercises. These exercises are taken from the Anapanasati Sutra on mindful breathing. There are 16 exercises in all. The first 4 are to take care of our body. The second set of 4 exercises takes care of our feelings. The third set of 4 focuses on the mind, and the 4th set focuses on objects of the mind. Although the first set of exercises is primarily for taking care of healing the body, when you do them, you also produce pleasure, freedom, and joy in your mind at the same time, because the body is always manifesting together with feelings of the mind. The mind can be described as being made up of particles like the drops of water in a river, called mental formations. Each drop of water in the river of the mind is a mental formation. Mindfulness, concentration, loving kindness, and insight are all mental formations. The 4th set of focuses on objects of the mind because mental formations always have their objects. To be angry is always to be angry at something. To love means to love someone or something. The first set of 4 exercises. They also have them as graphs, but I'm just going to skip forward to the explanations. The first set of 4 exercises. The first exercise is mindfulness of our breathing. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Bringing our awareness to our breathing, we stop all the thinking and focus only on our in-breath and our out-breath. The second exercise is breathing in, I follow my in-breath all the way through. Breathing out, I follow my out-breath all the way through. This exercise focuses and concentrates the mind. We follow our in-breath and our out-breath from beginning to end without interruption. The third exercise is breathing in, I'm aware of my body. Breathing out, I'm aware of my body. With this exercise, we remember we have a body and we bring our awareness to our body, reuniting body and mind. As you breathe in and out, becoming aware of your body, you may notice tension and pain in your body. You have allowed tension and strain to accumulate in your body, and that may be the starting place for any number of illnesses. That's why you're motivated to release these tensions, and it's further applied in the 4th exercise of mindful breathing. Breathing in, I release the tension in my body. Breathing out, I release the tension in my body. Or breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my body. We may need some insight that can help us release the tension and calm the body. The second set of 4 exercises. Pardon me, guys. With the 5th exercise, you go from the realm of the body to the realm of feeling, and you generate joy. Breathing in, I'm aware of the feeling of joy. A mindfulness practitioner is able to generate joy and happiness. It's not so hard. There's a little difference between joy and happiness. Joy still has some of the elements of excitement or anticipation in it. In happiness, there is ease and freedom. The French have a song they like to sing. I can't speak French, so I'm not going to try to say that sentence, but I'll read the English portion. What are you waiting for in order to be happy? You can be happy right here and right now. When you bring your mind home to your body, you're established in the present moment, and you become aware of the many wonders of life that are there in and around you. You may, with so many conditions of happiness are available, you can easily create a feeling of joy, a feeling of happiness. Each exercise makes the next one possible. So the 5th and the 6th exercises represent the art of happiness, how to generate joy and happiness for the sake of your enjoyment and your healing. The next 2 exercises are to recognize and take care of the pain that is there. The 7th is breathing in. I'm aware of the pain. The 7th is breathing in. I'm aware of the painful feelings in me. When a painful feeling arises, the practitioner knows how to use mindfulness to handle it. You don't allow the painful feeling to overwhelm you or push you to react in a way that creates suffering for yourself and for others. Breathing in, I'm aware of the painful feelings in me. Breathing out, I'm aware of the painful feelings in me. This is an art. We have to learn it because most of us don't like to be with our pain. We're afraid of being overwhelmed by the pain, so we always seek to run away from it. There's loneliness, fear, anger, and despair in us. Mostly we try to cover it up by consuming. There are those of us who go and look for something to eat. Others turn on the television. In fact, many people do both at the same time. And even if the TV program isn't interesting at all, we don't have the courage to turn it off. Because if we turn it off, we have to go back to ourselves and encounter the pain inside. The marketplace provides us with many items to help us in our effort to avoid this suffering inside. According to this teaching and practice, we do the opposite. We go home to ourselves and to take care of the pain. The way to go home with our fear of being overwhelmed by the pain is the practicing mindful walking or mindful breathing to generate the energy of mindfulness. Fortified with that energy, we recognize the painful feeling inside and embrace it tenderly. We lullaby the crying baby, just as the 3rd exercise is aware of the body. The 4th is calming the body. The 7th exercise is to be aware of the painful feelings. And the 8th is to embrace, calm, and soothe the pain. All of the first 8 exercises are simple and are easy enough for us to practice in daily life. The 3rd set of 4 exercises. The 9th exercise is breathing in. I am aware of the activities of my mind. Breathing out. I am aware of the activities of my mind. We continue to breathe mindfully and we recognize the mental formation when they arise. And we can call them by their true names such as anger or joy. The 10th is to gladden the mind, to get in touch with the wholesome seeds that are there in the soil of our mind and water them so that they can manifest as mental formations or zones of energy that make us happy. We do this for our own benefit and for the benefit of our loved ones. The 11th exercise is concentrating our mind, and the 12th is liberating the mind. Concentration, or samadhi in Sanskrit, is a powerful force that you can generate to make a breakthrough, to see clearly what is there and understand its true nature. The object can be a pebble, a leaf, a cloud, or it can be your anger or your fear. Anything can be the object of your concentration. I think scientists also practice concentration. In order to realize a deeper understanding of something, they have to concentrate totally on it. But the practice of concentration, as we are using it here, has the very specific aim and purpose of transforming the affliction in us, the fear, the anger, the illusion, so that we can be free. The final set of 4 exercises. The 13th exercise is the concentration of impermanence. With the insight of impermanence, we see that interdependent and selfless nature of all that exists, that nothing has a separate, independent self. With the 14th exercise, we recognize the true nature of desire and see that everything is already in the process of coming into being and disintegrating. With this insight, we no longer hold on to any object of desire or see any phenomenon as a changeless, separate entity. With the 15th exercise, we look into the nature of our ideas and notions and release them. When we are no longer grasping at notions, we experience the freedom and joy that comes from the cessation of illusion. The 16th exercise helps us further shed light on desire and attachment, fear and anxiety, hatred and anger. Our tendency is to think that if we let go, we'll lose the things that make us happy, but the opposite is true. The more we let go, the happier we become. Letting go doesn't mean we let go of everything. We don't let go of reality, but we let go of our wrong ideas and wrong perceptions about reality. Section 2, the 6 mantras. The 6 mantras are ways to express love and compassion. They can be very effective in transforming suffering and producing happiness in a relationship with a loved one, a friend, or a colleague. Children can practice them too. You may start by first practicing the 6 mantras with yourself, because you can only love and understand another when you have practiced love and understanding for yourself. A mantra is a magic formula. Every time you pronounce a mantra, you can transform the situation right away. You don't have to wait. Learn it so that you can recite it when the time is appropriate. What makes the mantra effective is your mindfulness and concentration. If you aren't mindful and concentrated when you recite a mantra, it won't work. We are all capable of being mindful and concentrated. The first mantra. The first mantra is, I am here for you. It's not difficult to practice. To love someone means to be there for him or her. This is an art and a practice. If you don't have enough mindfulness and concentration, you can't be there 100% for yourself or for the other person. With the practice of mindful breathing, mindful walking, mindful sitting, you can bring your mind home to your body and establish yourself fully in the here and now, restoring your true presence. When you love someone, you have to offer that person the best you have. The best thing we can offer another person is our true presence. Before you can be there for someone else, you have to be there for yourself. So we practice this mantra first with ourselves. I am here for you also means that I am here for myself. The mind goes home to the body and we become aware that we have a body. This is something we forget, especially when we're absorbed in our work. The practice of breathing in and out and bringing your mind home to your body can be very pleasant. You enjoy your breath in, your body, and your mind. This can already have an effect on the other person. That person may be lost in thinking or worries about the past or future. When you are truly there and you produce the mantra powerfully, you can help the other person to come back to himself or herself, to be present in the here and now. The first definition of love is to be there. This is the practice. How can you love if you are not there? In order to love, you have to be there, body and mind united. A true lover knows that this practice of mindfulness is the foundation of true love. The second mantra. The second mantra is also very powerful and can create happiness for both of you at the same time. Darling, I know you are there, and I am very happy. You have already produced your true presence, and so you are in a position to recognize the presence of another person, someone who is very precious to you. When you say, darling, I know you are there, you are also saying, your presence is very precious to me, and it is crucial for my happiness. You can't make the second step unless you have made the first step. The first step in this is the first mantra. I am here. I recognize my presence. I offer my presence to you, my beloved one. This is the best gift a lover can make to her beloved. Nothing is more precious than your presence. You can buy things from the market, but no matter how expensive the things are that you buy for that person, nothing is as precious as your presence. With mindfulness, you can make your presence fresher, more pleasant, more loving, and you can offer that wonderful presence to your beloved and make happiness for both of you. The third mantra. The third mantra is needed when you notice that the other person is suffering. The third mantra can help him suffer less right away. First, you practice breathing, sitting, or walking to restore your presence. Then you are ready to go to him and say, darling, I know you suffer, and that is why I am here for you. This is true love. True love is made of mindfulness. Because you are mindful, you know that something isn't going well with the other person. If you're able to notice that, then you can do something to help. Darling, I know you suffer. That is why I am here for you. Before you've even had a chance to do anything, you will suffer less right away. When you suffer and your beloved one ignores you suffering, then you suffer even more. But if the other person is aware of your suffering and offers his presence to you during these difficult moments, you suffer less right away. It doesn't take much time to bring some relief. This is a mantra that you can use in your relationship when the other person is suffering. The fourth mantra. The fourth mantra is a little bit more difficult, especially when you have too much pride in you. The fourth mantra is for when you yourself suffer and you believe that the other person has caused your suffering. This happens from time to time. If it had been another person who had said or done that to you, you would have suffered less. But it was the person you loved the most who said or did that. That's why you suffer very deeply. You may have the impulse to punish her because she has dared to make you suffer. When we suffer, we think that the other person has caused our suffering. She doesn't love me, so why do I have to love her? Our natural tendency is to want to punish the other person, and the way we do that is to show her that I can survive very well without you. This is an indirect way of saying I don't need you, but that's not true. Many of us have made that mistake. I also have made this mistake. But we learn. In fact, when we suffer, we do not need the other person. That's the commitment we made from the beginning of our relationship. You have to be true and faithful to that commitment. When you suffer, you should tell her that you suffer and that you need her help. But we tend to do the opposite. We want to show her that we don't need her. We prefer to lock ourselves in our room and cry instead of asking for help. There is pride in you, but in love, there is no place for pride. This is why we need the fourth mantra. Darling, I suffer. Please help. It's so simple, yet it's so difficult. But if you can bring yourself to pronounce the mantra, you will suffer less right away. I guarantee it. If the person notices that something is wrong and asks, darling, are you suffering? and tries to comfort you, you may have the impulse to respond, suffer? Why should I suffer? But that's not true. You suffer deeply. If she tries to come close and put her hand on your shoulder, you may want to say, leave me alone. Many of us commit this kind of mistake. The practice of the fourth mantra is the opposite. You have to reorganize your suffering. Darling, I suffer. I want you to know it. Please help. In fact, the formula is really a little bit longer. Darling, I suffer. I don't understand why you have said such a thing to me. I don't understand why you have done such a thing to me. I suffer. Please explain. I need your help. This is true love. But if you say, I am not suffering, I don't need your help, that is not true love. Please write the mantra on a piece of paper the size of a credit card and put it in your wallet. The next time you suffer and you believe that he or she is the cause of your suffering, remember to take it out and read it, and you will know exactly what to do. According to this practice, you have the right to suffer 24 hours, but not no more. That's the deadline. When you have to practice the fourth mantra, then you have to practice the fourth mantra. If you can't go to that person, you can use your mobile phone, your computer, or you can write it down on a piece of paper and put it on her desk, somewhere she'll see it. I'm sure that when you are able to bring yourself to write it down, you will suffer much less right away. The mantra can be split into 3 parts. The first part is, darling, I suffer, and I want you to know. That is sharing. You share your happiness and your suffering. Please explain to me why you did that to me, why you said that to me. I suffer. The second part is, I am doing my best. It means that I am a practitioner of mindfulness. So when I get angry, I don't say or do anything that can cause damage to myself or you. I am practicing mindful breathing, mindful walking, and looking deeply into my suffering to find out the root of my suffering. I believe that you have caused my suffering, but because I'm a practitioner, I know I shouldn't be too sure of that. I'm looking to see whether my suffering has come from a wrong perception on my part. Maybe you didn't mean to say or do that. Since I'm a practitioner, I'm now doing my best to practice looking deeply to recognize my anger and embrace it tenderly. I am doing my best is a kind of reminder, and it's also an invitation to the other person to do the same. When she gets the message, she might think, oh, I didn't know he was suffering. What have I done? What have I said so that he is suffering like this? Then the both of you will be practicing looking deeply. And if one of you discovers the cause, that the person should communicate right away and apologize for his or her unskillfulness. So the other person doesn't have to continue to suffer. The second sentence invites both people to be aware of what is going on and to look deeply to see what the real cause of suffering is. The third sentence is, please help. This part can be a little bit difficult, but it's very important. It takes some courage. When we love each other, we need each other, especially when we suffer. Your suffering is her suffering. Her happiness is your happiness. Looking deeply into the situation, we may have an insight as to how we can reconcile and reestablish harmony between us. The 3 sentences are, I suffer and I want you to know it. I'm doing my best. Please help. When you take the piece of paper from your wallet and read it, you will remember just what you need to do. The 5th mantra. The 5th mantra is, this is a happy moment. This isn't autosuggestion or wishful thinking. There are many conditions of happiness for us to enjoy if we are mindful enough to be aware of them. This mantra is to remind us both that we are very lucky to have so many conditions of happiness available in the here and now. Sitting with him, walking with her, you may like to pronounce the 5th mantra for us to remember how lucky we are to have so many conditions of happiness. If we don't enjoy them, we are not wise at all. Recognizing that this moment is a happy moment depends on your mindfulness. Only mindfulness can help you touch the many conditions of happiness that are available. There are more than enough conditions for both of you to be happy. So as you sit together, as you walk together, and have the opportunity to have some time together, breathe in mindfully and be aware of how lucky you are. It is mindfulness that makes the present moment into a wonderful moment, into a happy moment. The practitioner is an artist. She knows how to bring happiness into the here and the now with her practice. The sixth mantra. The sixth mantra is perfect for dealing with the suffering that comes from the complexes, thinking we are equal to, worse than, or better than the other person. When someone congratulates you or criticizes you, you can use the sixth mantra. Darling, you are partly right. This means that your criticism or praise is only partly right, because I have both weaknesses and strengths within me. If you congratulate me, I shouldn't get lost and ignore the negative things in myself. When we see something beautiful in another person, we tend to ignore the things that aren't so beautiful. As human beings, we have both positive and negative qualities. So when our beloved one congratulates you, telling you that you are the very image of perfection, you can say, darling, you are only partly right. You know that I have other things in me too. You retain your humility. You're not a victim of self-delusion because you know that you're not perfect. When the other person criticizes you or says you have nothing to offer or that you're worthless, you can say the same thing. Darling, you are only partly right because I do have good things in me too. 3, the third exercise, being present with strong emotions. When a painful emotion comes up, stop whatever you're doing and take care of it. Pay attention to what is happening. The practice is simple. Lie down, put your hand on your belly, and begin to breathe. Or you may sit on a cushion or on a chair, stop thinking, and bring your mind down to the level of the navel. When you look at a tree in a storm, if you focus your attention on the top of the tree, you'll see the leaves and branches blowing wildly in the wind, and the tree will look so vulnerable, as though it could be broken at any time. But when you direct your attention down to the trunk of the tree, there's not so much movement. You see the stability of the tree, and you see that the tree is deeply rooted in the soil and can withstand a storm. When we experience a strong emotion, the mind is agitated like the top of the tree. We have to bring our mind down to the trunk, to the abdomen, and focus all our attention on the rise and the fall of the abdomen. Breathing in, you notice the rising of your abdomen. Breathing out, you notice the falling of your abdomen. Breathe deeply and focus your attention only on your breath in and out breath. If there is anything to be aware of, it's that the emotion is only an emotion, and that you are much more than one emotion. You are body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. The territory of your being is large. One emotion is very little. An emotion is something that comes and stays for a while and eventually goes away. If during the time of that emotion you have the insight that insight will save you. You don't have to die just because of one emotion. We wouldn't wait until the strong emotion comes to begin learning. That may be too late. The emotion may carry you away, but you can learn now. Then, if the day after tomorrow you have a strong emotion, you'll have confidence that you can handle the strong emotion. Number 4, inviting the bell. Inviting the bell to sound is inviting happiness to enter our bodies and take root there. Every time we hear the sound of the bell, we have the chance to practice mindful breathing, calm our body, and notice our happiness. We can invite all the cells in our body to join us in listening to the bell and allowing the sound of the bell to penetrate us. Listening deeply, we know that our ancestors are fully present in every cell in our body. We listen in such a way that all our ancestors are listening at the same time. If we can be peaceful and joyful while listening, then all our ancestors will also experience peace and joy at the same time. It is possible to invite all of our ancestors to join us in listening to the bell. Number 5, metta. Metta meditation is a practice of cultivating understanding, love, and compassion by looking deeply. First for ourselves and then for others. Once we love and take care of ourselves, we can be much more helpful to others. Metta meditation can be practiced in part or in full. Just saying one line of the metta meditation will already bring more compassion and healing into the world. To love is, first of all, to accept ourselves as we actually are. That is why, in this love meditation, know thyself is the first practice of love. When we practice this, we see the conditions that have caused us to be the way we are. This makes it easy for us to accept ourselves, including our suffering and our happiness at the same time. Metta means loving kindness in Pali. We begin this with an aspiration. May I be. Then we transcend the level of aspiration and look deeply at all the positive and negative characteristics of the object of our meditation. In this case, ourselves. The willingness to love is not yet love. We look deeply with all our being in order to understand. We don't just repeat the words or imitate others or strive after some ideal. The practice of love meditation is not autosuggestion. We don't just say, I love myself, I love all beings. We look deeply at our body, at our feelings, our perceptions, our mental formations, and our consciousness. And in just a few weeks, our aspiration to love will become a deep intention. Love will enter our thoughts, our words, and our actions, and we will notice that we have become peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit, safe and free from injury, and free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. When we practice, we observe how much peace, happiness, and lightness we already have. We notice whether we are anxious about accidents or misfortunes, and how much anger, irritation, fear, anxiety, or worry are already in us. As we become aware of the feelings in us, our self-understanding will deepen. We will see our fears and lack of peace contribute to our happiness, and we will see the value of loving ourselves and cultivating a heart of compassion. In this love meditation, anger, affliction, fear, and anxiety refer to all the unwholesome negative states of mind that dwell within us and rob us of our peace and happiness. Anger, fear, anxiety, craving, greed, and ignorance are the great afflictions of our time. By practicing mindful living, we are able to deal with them, and our love is translated into effective action. This is a love meditation adapted from the path of purification, a 5th century teaching from the Buddha. To practice this love meditation, sit still, calm your body and your breathing, and recite it to yourself. The sitting position is wonderful for practicing this. Sitting still, you are not too preoccupied with other matters, so you can look deeply at yourself as you are, cultivating your love for yourself and determine the best ways to express this love in the world. May I be peaceful and light in the body and spirit. May she be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May he be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May they be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May I be safe and free from injury. May she be safe and free from injury. May he be safe and free from injury. May they be safe and free from injury. May I be free from anger, affliction, fear, and anxiety. May she be free from anger, affliction, fear, and anxiety. May he be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. May they be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. Begin practicing this love meditation on yourself. Until you are able to love and take care of yourself, you cannot be of much help to others. After that, practice on others. First on someone you like, then on someone neutral to you, then on someone you love, and finally on someone the mere thought of who makes you suffer. According to the Buddha, a human being is made of 5 elements called skandhas in Sanskrit. They are form, the body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. In a way, you are the surveyor, and these elements are your territory. You know the real situation within yourself. You have to know your own territory, including the elements within you that are at war with each other. In order to bring about harmony, reconciliation, and healing within you, you have to understand yourself. Looking and listening deeply, surveying your territory is the beginning of love meditation. Begin this practice by looking deeply into your body. Ask, how is my body in this moment? How was it in the past? How will it be in the future? Later, when you meditate on someone you like, someone neutral to you, someone you love, and someone you hate, you also begin by looking at this physical aspect. Breathing in and out, visualizing his face, his way of walking, sitting, and talking, his heart, lungs, kidneys, and all the organs in his body. Taking as much time as you need to bring these details into awareness. But always start with yourself. When you see your own 5 skandhas clearly, understanding and love arise naturally, and you know what to do and what not to do to take care of yourself. Look into your body to see whether it is at peace or in suffering from illness. Look at the condition of your lungs, your heart, your intestines, your kidneys, and your liver to see what the real needs of your body are. When you do, you will eat, drink, and act in ways that demonstrate your love and your compassion for the body. Usually, you follow ingrained habits, but when you look deeply, you see that many of these habits harm your body and mind. So you work to transform your habits in ways conducive to good health and vitality. Next, observe your feelings, whether they are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Feelings flow in us like a river, and each feeling is a drop of water in that river. Look into the river of your feelings and see how each feeling came to be. See what has been preventing you from being happy, and do your best to transform those things. Practice touching the wondrous, refreshing, and healing elements that are already in you and in the world. Doing so, you become stronger and better able to love yourself and others. Then meditate on your perceptions. The Buddha observed, the person who suffers most in this world is the person who has many wrong perceptions, and most of our perceptions are erroneous. You see a snake in the dark and you panic, but when your friend shines the light on it, you see that this is only a rope. You have to know which wrong perception causes you to suffer. Please write beautifully the sentence, "Are you sure?" on a piece of paper and tape it to your wall. Love meditation helps you learn to look with clarity and serenity in order to improve the way you perceive. Next, observe your mental formations, the ideas and tendencies within you that lead you to speak and act as you do. Practice looking deeply to discover the true nature of your mental formations. How are you influenced by your individual consciousness and also by the collective consciousness of your family, ancestors, and society? Unwholesome mental formations cause us so much disturbance. Wholesome formations bring about love, happiness, and liberation. Finally, look at your consciousness. According to Buddhism, consciousness is like a field with every possible kind of seed in it. Seeds of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Seeds of anger, fear, anxiety, and seeds of mindfulness. Consciousness is the storehouse that contains all of these seeds and the possibilities of whatever might arise in your mind. When your mind is not at peace, it may be because of the desires and feelings in your stored consciousness. To live in peace, you have to be aware of your tendencies, your habit energies, so you can exercise some self-control. This is the practice of preventative health care. Look deeply into the nature of your feelings to find their roots, to see which feelings need to be transformed, and nourish those feelings that bring about peace, joy, and well-being. You can continue with the following aspirations, first for yourself and then for others. May I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love. May I learn to look at her with eyes of understanding and love. May I learn to look at him with eyes of understanding and love. May I learn to look at them with eyes of understanding and love. May I be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in myself. May I be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in her. May I be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in him. May I be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in them. May I learn to identify and see the source of anger, craving, and delusion in myself. May I learn to identify and see the sources of anger, craving, and delusion in her. May I learn to identify and see the sources of anger, craving, and delusion in him. May I learn to identify and see the source of anger, craving, and delusion in them. May I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love. One time when we practiced love meditation in Plum Village, a young laywoman said to me, "When I meditate on my boyfriend, I found that I began to love him less. And when I meditate on the person I dislike the most, I suddenly hated myself." Before the meditation, her love for her boyfriend was so passionate that she was not able to see his shortcomings. During her practice, she began to see him more clearly and realize that he is less perfect than she imagined. She began to love him in a way that had more understanding in it, and therefore it was deeper and healthier. She also had fresh insight into the person she disliked the most. She saw some of the reasons he was like that, and she saw how she had caused him to suffer by reacting to him harshly. Again, we begin with ourselves to understand our own true nature. As long as we reject ourselves and continue to harm our body and mind, there's no point in talking about loving and accepting others. With mindfulness, we will be able to recognize our habitual ways of thinking and the contents of our thoughts. We shine the light of mindfulness on the natural pathways in our mind so we can see them clearly. Whenever we see or hear something, our attention can be appropriate or inappropriate. With mindfulness, we can recognize which it is and release inappropriate attention and nurture appropriate attention. Appropriate mental attention brings us happiness, peace, clarity, and love. Inappropriate attention fills our mind with sorrow, anger, and prejudice. Mindfulness helps us practice appropriate attention and water the seeds of peace, joy, and liberation in us. Next, we use mindfulness to illuminate our speech so we can use loving speech and stop before we say anything that creates conflict for ourselves or others. When we look into our physical actions, mindfulness illuminates how we stand, sit, walk, smile, and frown, and how we look at others. We recognize which actions are beneficial and which bring harm. Understanding oneself and others is the key that opens the door of love and acceptance of oneself and others. May I be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in myself. The soil of our mind contains many seeds, positive and negative. We are the gardeners who identify, water, and cultivate the best seeds. Touching the seeds of joy, peace, freedom, solidity, and love in ourselves and in each other is an important practice that helps us grow in the direction of health and happiness. May I learn to identify and see the source of anger, craving, delusion in myself. We look deeply to see how these came about, what are their roots, and how long they have been there. We practice mindfulness in our daily lives to be aware that such poisons as craving, anger, delusion, arrogance, and suspicion are present in us. We can look and see how much suffering they have caused ourselves and others. We need to master our own anger before we can help others to do the same. Arguing with others only waters the seeds of anger in us. When anger arises, return to yourself and use the energy of mindfulness to embrace, soothe, and illuminate it. Don't think you'll feel better if you lash out and make the other person suffer. The other person might respond even more harshly, and anger will escalate. The Buddha taught that when anger arises, close your eyes and ears, return to yourself, and tend to the source of anger within. Transforming your anger is not just for your personal liberation. Everyone around you, and even those more distant, will benefit. Look deeply at your anger as you would look at your own child. Don't reject it or hate it. The point of meditation is not to turn yourself into a battlefield, one side opposing the other. Conscious breathing soothes and calms the anger, and mindfulness penetrates it. Anger is just an energy, and all energies can be transformed. Meditation is the art of using one kind of energy to transform another. May I know how to nourish the seeds of joy in myself every day. May I know how to nourish the seeds of joy in her every day. May I know how to nourish the seeds of joy in him every day. May I know how to nourish the seeds of joy in them every day. May I be able to live fresh, solid, and free. May she be able to live fresh, solid, and free. May he be able to live fresh, solid, and free. May they be able to live fresh, solid, and free. May I be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. May she be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. May he be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. May they be free from attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. These aspirations help us to water the seeds of joy and happiness that lie deep in our stored consciousness. The notions we entertain about what will bring us happiness are just a trap. We forget that they are only ideas. Our idea of happiness can prevent us from being happy. When we believe that happiness should take a particular form, we fail to see the opportunities for joy that are right in front of us. Happiness is not an individual matter. It is the nature of interbeing. When you are able to make one friend smile, her happiness will nourish you. When you find ways to foster peace, joy, happiness, you do it for everyone. Begin by nourishing yourself with joyful feelings. Practice walking meditation outside, enjoying the fresh air, the trees, and the stars in the night sky. What do you do to nourish yourself? It's important to discuss this subject with a dear friend and find concrete ways to nourish joy and happiness. When you succeed in doing this, your suffering, sorrow, and painful mental formations will begin to transform. May I be able to live fresh, solid, and free. Fresh is a translation of the Vietnamese word for cool, without fever. Jealousy, anger, and craving are a kind of fever. Solid refers to stability. If you aren't solid, you won't be able to accomplish much. Each day you only need to take a few solid steps in the direction of your goal. Each morning you redirect yourself to your path in order to not go astray. Before going to sleep at night, take a few minutes to review the day. Did I live in the direction of my ideals today? If you see that you took 2 or 3 steps in that direction, that is good enough. If you didn't, say to yourself, I'll do better tomorrow. Don't compare yourself with others. Just look to yourself to see whether you are going in the direction you cherish. Take refuge in the things that are solid. If you lean on something that isn't solid, you will fall down. A few sanghas may not yet be solid, but usually taking refuge in a sangha is a wise thing to do. There are sangha members everywhere who are practicing earnestly. Freedom means transcending the trap of harmful desires and being without attachments, whether to an institution, a diploma, or a certain rank. From time to time, we encounter people who are free and can do whatever is needed. Indifference, when we are indifferent, nothing is enjoyable, interesting, or worth striving for. We don't experience love or understanding, and our life has no joy or meaning. We don't even notice the beauties of nature or the laughter of children. We are unable to touch the suffering of the happiness of others, or the happiness of others. If you find yourself in a state of indifference, ask your friends for help. Even with all its suffering, life is filled with many wonders. Free from attachments and aversions. The kind of love the Buddha wanted us to cultivate is not possessive or attached. All of us, young and old, have a tendency to become attached. As soon as we are born, attachment to self is already there. In wholesome love relationships, there is a certain amount of possessiveness and attachment. But if it's excessive, both lover and beloved will suffer. If a father thinks he owns his son, or if a young man tries to put restrictions on his girlfriend, then love becomes a prison. This is also true in relationships between friends, teachers, students, and so on. Attachment obstructs the flow of life. And without mindfulness, attachment always becomes aversion. Both attachment and aversion lead to suffering. Look deeply to discover the nature of your love and identify the degree of attachment, despotism, and possessiveness in your love. Then you can begin untangling the knots. The seeds of true love, loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity, are already there in our stored consciousness. Through the practice of deep looking, the seeds of suffering and attachment will shrink and the positive seeds will grow. We can transform attachment and aversion and arrive at a love that is spacious and all-encompassing. Deep relaxation. When we fall down, we have physical pain. When we're sad, we call it emotional pain. But mind and body are not separate, and suffering is not just an emotion. We hold suffering in our body. The practice of deep relaxation is a way to acknowledge and soothe the suffering in the body and suffering in the mind. Deep relaxation begins with observing our bodies. You can start with your eyes. Breathing in, I'm aware of my eyes. Breathing out, I smile to my eyes with gratitude and love. Then bring your awareness down to your nose, your mouth, your throat, and continue down to your toes. You're doing a scan of your body, not with an X-ray, but with the array of mindfulness. You go through your whole body, bringing your awareness to each part. Breathing in, I'm aware of my heart. Breathing out, I smile to my heart with love. My heart is essential to my well-being. It works nonstop and nourishes all the cells of my body. I'm so grateful to my heart. I get to rest and sleep, but my heart never stops. Yet I've done nothing to hurt my heart. I've drunk too much alcohol, I've smoked. I haven't been very kind to my heart. As you breathe in and out and embrace your heart with mindfulness, you can see things like this. This kind of insight can transform and heal. You know exactly what you should consume and what you should not consume to be kind to your heart, which is an essential condition of your happiness. You go through all your organs, all the parts of your body in this way. This is the contemplation of the body in the mind. There's a basic text in Buddhism that teaches us how to meditate on our body. It's called mindfulness of the body, in the body. There's a very long Sanskrit word here I cannot pronounce, but in English we call it mindfulness of the body, in the body. The body is an important object of meditation. It contains the cosmos, the kingdom of God, the pure land of Buddha, and our ancestors, both spiritual and genetic. Meditating on the body, we can get in touch with all of these things and nourish our happiness and well-being, as well as the happiness and well-being of those around us. Number 7, The 5 mindfulness trainings. The 5 mindfulness trainings are guidelines for how to live our daily lives in a way that nourishes happiness and transformation and transforms ill-being. The 5 mindfulness trainings are also the kind of thinking and acting that have the power to heal. You can recite them daily or monthly alone or with a group to renew your intentions and as an inspiration to practice. The first mindfulness training, reverence for life. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I am committed to cultivating the insight of interbeing compassion and learning ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I am determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to support any act of killing in the world, in my thinking, or in my way of life. Seeing that harmful actions arise from anger, fear, greed, and intolerance, which in turn come from dualistic and discriminative thinking, I will cultivate openness, non-discrimination, and non-attachment to views in order to transform violence, fanaticism, and dogmatism in myself and in the world. The second mindfulness training, true happiness. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I am committed to practicing generosity in my thinking, speaking, and acting. I am determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. And I will share my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. I will practice looking deeply to see that the happiness and suffering of others are not separate from my own happiness and suffering. That true happiness is not possible without understanding and compassion, and that running after wealth, fame, power, and sensual pleasure can bring much suffering and despair. I'm aware that happiness depends on my mental attitude and not on external conditions, and that I can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that I already have more than enough conditions to be happy. I'm committed to practicing right livelihood so that I can help reduce the suffering of living beings on Earth and reverse the process of global warming. The third mindful training, true love. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I am committed to cultivating responsibility and learning ways to protect the safety and integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. Knowing that sexual desire is not love, and that sexual activity motivated by craving always harms myself as well as others. I am determined not to engage in sexual relations without true love and deep, long-term commitment made known to my family and friends. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. Seeing that body and mind are one, I am committed to learning appropriate ways to take care of my sexual energy and cultivating loving kindness, compassion, joy, and inclusiveness, which are the 4 basic elements of true love, for my greater happiness and for the greater happiness of others. Practicing true love, we know that we will continue beautifully into the future. The 4th mindful training, loving speech and deep listening. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others, I am committed to cultivating loving speech and compassionate listening in order to relieve suffering and to promote reconciliation and peace in myself and among other people, ethnic and religious groups, and nations. Knowing that words can create happiness or suffering, I am committed to speaking truthfully, using words that inspire confidence, joy, and hope. When anger is manifesting in me, I am determined not to speak. I will practice mindful breathing and walking in order to recognize and to look deeply into my anger. I know that the roots of anger can be found in my wrong perceptions and lack of understanding of the suffering in myself and in the other person. I will speak and listen in a way that can help myself and the other person to transform suffering and see the way out of difficult situations. I am determined not to spread news I do not know to be certain and to not utter words that can cause division and discord. I will practice right diligence to nourish my capacity for understanding, love, joy, and inclusiveness and gradually transform anger, violence, and fear that lay deep in my consciousness. The fifth mindfulness training, nourishment and healing. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I am committed to cultivating good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will practice looking deeply into how I consume the 4 kinds of nutriments, namely edible foods, sense impressions, volition, and consciousness. I am determined not to gamble or to use alcohol, drugs, or any other products that contain toxins, such as certain websites, electronic games, TV programs, films, magazines, books, and conversations. I will practice coming back to the present moment to be in touch with the refreshing, healing, and nourishing elements in me and around me, not letting regrets and sorrow drag me back into the past, nor letting anxieties, fears, or craving pull me out of the present moment. I am determined not to try to cover up loneliness, anxiety, or other suffering by losing myself in consumption. I will contemplate, intervene, and consume in a way that preserves peace, joy, and well-being in my body and consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family, my society, and the earth. Number 8, walking meditation. In our daily lives, we have the habit of running. We seek peace, success, and love. We are always on the run, and our steps are one means by which we run away from the present moment. But life is available only in the present moment. Peace is available only in the present moment. Taking a step and taking refuge in your step means to stop running. For those of us who are used to always running, it is a revolution to make a step and to stop running. We make a step, and if we know how to make it, peace becomes available in that moment of touching the earth with our feet. It would be a pity to let a whole day pass without enjoying walking on the earth. Usually our in-breath tends to be a little shorter than our out-breath. When you breathe in, you may take 2 steps and say, I have arrived, I have arrived. When you breathe out, you might like to take 3 steps and say, I am home, I am home, I am home. Home means being home in the present moment, where you can touch all of the wonders of life. We should be able to walk with a lot of tenderness and happiness on this beautiful planet. I have arrived, I am home. It's not a statement, but a practice. Allow yourself to sink deeply into the here and now, because life is possible only in the present. Life is available only in the present. And you know that you have the capacity to touch life in the present moment, in the here and in the now. We may have lost our freedom and sovereignty. We may allow ourselves to be pushed and pulled away from the here and now. Now we have to resist the habit energy that pushes us to run. We have to recover our sovereignty and reclaim our freedom and walk like the free person on earth. Walk like a free person on earth. Freedom doesn't mean political freedom. It means freedom from the past, from the future, from our worries and our fear. Each step can help free us. We resist. We don't allow ourselves to be carried away anymore. We want to be free because we know that without freedom, no happiness, no peace will be possible. The Buddha said that freedom and solidity are the 2 characteristics of nirvana. Imagine someone who has no solidity and no freedom. That person can never be happy. Walking like this helps us to cultivate freedom and solidity, which will bring us well-being and happiness. Let your steps follow your breath, not the other way around. Let your breathing be natural, never forced. Breathing in, if your lungs want 2 steps, then we can take exactly 2 steps. If you feel better with 3 steps, then give yourself 3 steps while breathing in. When you breathe out, listen to your lungs. Whenever you feel that you want to take an extra step while breathing out, then allow yourself to have 1 more step breathing out. Every step should be enjoyable. Sometimes it's helpful to practice in a park or some other beautiful, quiet place. This nourishes our spirit and strengthens our mindfulness. We walk slowly, but not too slowly, so that we don't stand out and make people feel uncomfortable. This is a kind of invisible practice. We can enjoy nature and our own serenity. When we see something we want to touch with our mindfulness, the blue sky, the hills, a tree, or a bird, we just stop. But while we do so, we continue breathing in and out mindfully. Practice, my apologies. This is Bodhi barking. My little bodhisattva. We'll ask him to join us. Hi, you want to come join us? Come on. There we go. Our little bodhisattva. Practice stopping while you're walking. If you can stop while walking, then you'll be able to stop when doing other daily activities, whether that's cleaning the kitchen, watering the garden, or eating breakfast. If you suffer from depression, your depression won't be able to go away until you know how to stop. You've lived in such a way that depression has become possible. You've been running and have not allowed yourself time to rest, to relax, and to live your daily life deeply. Spending time each day doing mindful walking can help. Arrange your life so that you can do mindful walking every day. It's good to walk alone, but it's also good to practice walking meditation with the Sangha to get support. You can ask a friend to go with you, or you can even take the hand of a child and walk with him or her. You should be able to practice mindful breathing and walking everywhere, in our home, at work, at school, in a hospital, even in Congress. Some years ago, we offered a retreat for Congress people in Washington, D.C., and now there are a number of congressmen who know how to practice walking meditation on Capitol Hill. I'm going to take a quick pause here in the year 2026 to acknowledge that this has happened and to maybe go see if they're still practicing. I think Congress could use some more meditation. When you walk to the bus stop or from one room to another, make it into a walking meditation. Even if your surroundings are full of noise and agitated, you can still walk in rhythm with your breathing. Even in the commotion of a big city, you can walk with peace, happiness, and an inner smile. This is what it means to live fully in every moment of every day of your life. This is something that is possible to do. Walking meditation is walking just to enjoy walking. You don't have any desire to arrive anywhere. Walking and not arriving, that is the technique. You enjoy every step you make. Every step brings you home to the here and now. Your true home is the here and now, because only in this moment, in this place called the here and now, is life possible. Every step you take should bring you back to peace, to the present moment. According to Master Lin, the miracle is not to walk on water or in thin air, but to walk on earth. Walk in such a way that you become fully alive and joy and happiness are possible. That is the miracle that everyone can perform. I perform that miracle every time I walk, and you can too. If you have mindfulness, concentration, and insight, then every step you make on this earth is performing a miracle. That concludes No Mud No Lotus, the art of transforming suffering. I hope you've enjoyed these practices, and do come back to hear them anytime you need to. Grab a copy so you can read them yourself if you need to. And I will be back with a few more books to read from the same author, Thich Nhat Hanh. We've got Calming the Fearful Mind, A Zen Response to Terrorism, Good Citizens, and The Art of Communicating. I feel that these 4 books go beautifully together. So we're going to continue reading together. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I certainly am enjoying it. Again, I am Ash from Asheric Meditation, and thank you for joining me. We'll see you again soon.